Hello everyone. We get some really good questions here and we just thought this might be a good way to introduce a more in-depth answer. So a recent question from Amanda says, hello, I'm new to this group and I'm looking for recommendations on books that delve into how to read tarot for self-healing. I've got plenty of books that give basic card meanings, but I'm still feeling a gap in my ability to connect the individual cards to see the whole picture of a given reading. What books have really helped you understand tarot? Thanks in advance. And it just felt kind of unfair to say, there's no books, sorry. But that's actually my truth, but I wanted to go on to share what has helped me, if not books, because when I was younger, I always wanted to be able to read tarot, and I just thought it's a magical skill that you're either born with or you're not, where you just pick up the card and you just go, oh, this means this, and you just know. And it actually took me till my late 20s to figure out that this was a skill, and that deciding to learn tarot, like any journey, starts with a kind of a passionate yearning and then a commitment made to say, I'm going to practice and I'm going to study. And so I actually used an online resource that is a woman called Bridget Esselmont, Biddy Tarot, as my baseline, because she uses the Rider-Waite deck, and each of her interpretations starts out with a classical interpretation of the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And that is a kind of foundation of this system, is the art and the images and the words in that deck. And then Bridget's personality is grounded and straightforward, which I feel that the Rider-Waite deck, it's quite concerned with bridging aspects of the soul into this realm. The way that reality is divided up, it mirrors social and familial structures. So it's not, I'm going to say it's not going to help you have esoteric experiences, because many people would consider anything to do with the tarot to be esoteric learning, but I feel that it's helping us to put our intuition and subtle realities into play to be effective in the world. And so her interpretations and the spirit of the original art and original interpretations go well together. It's good enough for me to say this is a baseline for what tarot was and is. And then so I got a deck that I resonated with at the time. I resonate with it less now, but it also is my baseline, my comfort zone. That's this Aquarian tarot. And so once you have a deck that you feel like the images do naturally speak to you and move you, and then you have any book at all that's basic interpretations, the two things that came next in my journey were actually studying communication and language and decolonizing my language, because a lot of the language of any third dimensional reality navigation system is quite transactional, and it views things like reciprocity in a very tit for tat kind of a way, and that's not really my truth. So I actually found that a lot of the descriptions and a lot of the basic tarot books were very limiting to me. They would use words like right or wrong or good or bad, a lot about competition and winning at life, and it just didn't resonate. So by studying things like forms like nonviolent communication, even neuro-linguistic programming to a certain degree, though I think that is not reliably used neutrally or for good. It's often used for manipulation, but just studying what they know about how powerful language is. It was really a 10-year journey with that, with language and communication, that helped me to unpack the essence of the archetypes without being limited by the way they're being described in any of the books. And so finding a baseline resource, whether it's online or any book, then training in unpacking and decolonizing the use of language so that we can, there's less in the way of us receiving the transmission directly from the archetypal reality in the archetypal realms through the card as a tool. It's like the next thing. And then I just set out on a very intuitive practice where it requires that you think about what it is that you want from the tarot. Like, what is your intention of seeking this information? And for me, everything comes down to relationships, and attempting to reskill in the lost art of remaining in right relationship and maintaining relationships. So knowing that my intention of going to the tarot for information was that I wanted it to give me information that would help serve me in relationships, I designed this practice where every single day for maybe 3 months, I made a sadhana out of it. I chose a person who was very alive in my life in some way, a relationship. And I closed my eyes and I breathed and I tried to just feel in my core the essence of that person. And what it made me feel. I tried to strip away all the stories, all the goals, and just what do I feel in my body? Where do I feel it in my body when I tune in with that person? And then I would hold the tarot deck and breathe, and I would ask the archetypal energies, which this deck is a portal to connect us with. I would ask the energies of the tarot, show me a card that is this person and this energy and this essence in tarot form. So help me connect this abstract idea of this tarot archetype, like, the Seven of Pentacles. Help me connect that abstract idea with something as intimate and personal as can be. And every time that I did this, I was able to have big aha moments to say, oh yes, my boss is really embodying the Emperor, or this new witch crush of mine is really embodying the Eight of Wands, which is like, there's lots of different ways to describe, but the one that stands out is like a swiftly flowing, bubbling river that's moving fast and bringing life to everything it touches. And so that's the way that I used to bring the information to life. And then the part about I'm having trouble seeing the big picture between the individual cards, I find that spreads are the most important thing, because there is no relationship between the different cards other than the relationship that you determine there to be. So a spread is a way of saying the card that I put here is the past, the card that I put here is the present, the card that I put here is the future. So this row represents a flow of time. And so without spreads, at a certain point I realized without spreads, it was very difficult to zoom out and see that big picture. It was just a lot of information. So I hope that this helps you to deepen, and I think that the tarot is a really wonderful tool for staying aligned and connected to higher guidance in these times. So thanks for asking a great question. Blessings.